Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are doing pretty well. I'm your host, Mike G. I think that's going to be my new intro going forward. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the stuff you guys do. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Again, I really appreciate it. I do have you propped up on the tool cabinet because eventually I'm going to show you how to do. I'm going to be doing this by machine, but we're going to do it by hand first. So I'm actually polishing glass today. We're going to take a look at a new product from CarPro, which is their new glass polish, GofX, which stands for glass oil film remover. That's what this is doing, and it tells you right here, light glass polish and cleaner, removes oily traffic films, mineral deposits, coatings, and bugs, removes glare, restores visibility. It says it has a cut out of 5 out of 10. It's designed for glass, of course no gloss. So again, you can use this by machine or by hand. So that's what this product is designed for, and I do want to bring this up real quick because I just closed it. But for those of you who are in California, unfortunately you're not going to be getting this because there's the warning here. So you're going to have to figure out a way to get this. So again, I appreciate Avi for sending this out to me and able to make it through customs here in California. So it must not meet VOC compliance standards here. Okay. So the first question they're going to ask is probably what's the difference between this and Ceriglass? And then the next question you're asked is, do I need both? And that's a very good question here. The main difference between this and Ceriglass is this is not going to remove wiper scratches. This does not contain cerium oxide. Ceriglass again contains cerium oxide, and its primary it was primarily designed to remove wiper scratches. So again, if you have wiper scratches in your glass, you're going to want to use that with a rayon pad like this, and a rotary, of course, will get the job done a lot faster. That's what you would design. You would use Ceriglass for, and it's basically a sledgehammer for glass. This, again, it does not have that. This is just an abrasive polish where it's going to remove anything on the glass here. So if you have some water spots maybe you want to get off, maybe you have some an old coating you want to get off in preparation for a new coating. Maybe you have new glass and you just want to prep it for a glass coating or a sealant of your choice, and you just want to deep clean it. That's what this is designed for. So again, if you have traffic film on your paint, it's going to get on your glass. Glass is pretty porous, and it's going to be stuck on there. So when you use the wipers and you see that weird haze that doesn't go away, and you use glass cleaner, and it's like, hey, how can I get this off? Well, that's where an abrasive polish comes into play, like GofX. Now there's this myth that you have to use. Oh, before I move over, and I've seen this many times where people were using a rayon pad and Ceriglass, and then they were installing defects into their glass. You would see like little swirls on there, and of course then it becomes harder to get that off. So they were having some issues. People would use it there, and there was this misconception that because you're using you're polishing glass, even if it doesn't have a lot of stuff in there, you're not trying to remove wiper scratches, and people were using it with rayon pads, and that's how you were getting those defects in there. So there was a little misconception there. You don't really need it. I was using Ceriglass with like just a regular traditional foam cutting pad, which I'm going to use with GoFX here. I did try it in the back with the microfiber pad. It was not very enjoyable, so we're going to try it with a foam pad here. This is a foam cutting pad from Americana Global, so it's a cutting pad. I know it's just yellow, so it might throw people off, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and try that out with this one here and kind of just see how if it works a little better for me here, because I did not enjoy the experience on the back window with a microfiber pad and a machine. Again, you can use this by hand or by machine, and so we're going to show you by hand real quick, and then we're going to show you by machine. And I think the other thing I want to talk about is misconceptions when it comes to removing stuff from the glass. So there's this misconception that we have to use dedicated glass polishes, and the reality is you don't. You could use your compound of your choice. I could use Ultra Cut right now if I wanted to. I'll be perfectly fine. Again, I'm not trying to remove wiper scratches. I'm just trying to remove maybe some water spots on there, remove an old coating. That's, again, I'm removing an old coating is what I'm doing, but I could use Ultra Cut to be perfectly fine, sir. So you don't need a dedicated glass polish here, but again, you have that option if you need something that's dedicated to glass. You know, you can get that. I mean, MIKEG has another one. That's what this GoFX is kind of similar to this here. So I'm going to put these down this way and get them out of the way. And we're going to talk about this here in a second here, because I did ask Avi one other question about GofX here, because I was asking him what's this thing actually doing here. And so I was asking him because some people were saying, and I read this, if it had citrus cleaners along with abrasives, and he said it has a very slight amount of acid. So they're using that acid to deep clean, and it's probably like their G-Force glass coating, which has a little bit of acid to kind of etch the glass a bit so that it can actually bond to the glass better. That's what I'm suspecting that this is doing here. So we're going to go ahead and showcase this by hand, and I'm going to prep my tool as well. So again, I was using it with a microfiber, Americana Global microfiber pad, and it was kind of unenjoyable because it didn't, the work time was a little too short. This thing really holds on to the pads. So it made the work time a little too short, and so I'm going to go ahead and just use a foam cutting pad, and we'll see how this does. Again, I'm not trying to remove anything that harsh, so I'm going to be using the cutting pad here. So I'm going to put this on the cart for now. Let me put that away. And then as far as an applicator by hand, you know what? Maybe we'll just go ahead and use the pad. So if you can use a microfiber applicator of your choice. I might just use the pad that I pulled off the machine because it's already there. I already had it and I already had prepped it. And the reason you would use the microfiber applicator is it's a little bit more aggressive than your foam applicator, but you could use foam if you want to by hand. So let me just go ahead and kind of clean the pad out here. And then for those of you who actually bought Ceriglass and the kit came with one of these little felt blocks, which is basically rayon, you could use this as well. I'm just trying to clean this off. Maybe I'll use this little block here just to show you what it's like to use with this little piece here. So the first thing you want to do, and then maybe I'll show this on camera before we get too far ahead, is I'm going to flip this over. If I can click on the button here. So again, I have a glass coating on here, so if I spray some water, you can see it bead on the glass. So that's what I'm going to be removing here. And when I was washing it yesterday and prepping it, I actually got some water spots. You can actually see it when I wipe the surface wet. You can actually see there's water spots because I was taking too long when I was making content. So I'm going to remove those water spots as well. And so the first thing I want to do is, where's the compound here? I'm going to do this with one hand, so just shake it real quick. I'm actually working here. I'm going to put a little bit, I'll put a line of product on there. And I'm going to show you how hard it is that I'm working when I'm using this here. I'm going to go ahead and just work this small little section here. And you can see it kind of, so it's being rejected here. And so you're going to want to work this and put some pressure in here. So just kind of go around in circles. And little by little, just overlap your passes. And eventually you'll start feeling like you're breaking through the coating because it's not feeling as slick anymore. And I can start to feel the product dry out a bit. And you can see that now it's not rejecting itself in here. So let me just kind of work this in real quick. I'm just trying to break down this polish because I put quite a bit on this pad. Okay. Again, I'm going after that thing. And so what I'm going to do, where's my towels? Okay, so I have this towel here. And what I've been doing, let me fold this towel here a minute. It's lost its ability here. Is what I've done with this towel here is I've actually got my panel prep product here, and I just sprayed it in here just to kind of dampen that into the towel. That's why I'm using this. And then we're going to go ahead and just wipe this up. You can immediately tell where the flat spot is just by wiping that off. You can see I've gone through the coating. Then I'll take a secondary towel and wipe this off. Wipe the residue. So again, if you're gonna, you can do this by hand. It's no problem. It's gonna take forever. And so now when I spray water, you can see where that dead spot is at in the glass. And that's what this is designed to do. It's designed to remove old coatings here. And so I'm going to go ahead and just dry this off. Yeah, it's pretty darn obvious here when you go over it when it's wet. Look at that. So that's the end goal, is to remove any glass coating that's on the surface here. So I'm going to prop you back up on camera here, and I'm going to go ahead and get after it with the machine. You're probably not going to be able to see much, but we'll see what I can do, because I need both hands for this. So on the directions for machine use, it says apply 2 to 3 pea-sized drops of GofX to the buff applicator, a microfiber cloth, or polishing pad. Work in a small section, 40 by 40 centimeters, polishing in circular motions until the glass is hydrophilic, residue is not repelled. Wipe the area with a separate damp microfiber towel and check for hydrophobicity. Repeat if necessary. Okay. And suitable for manual or machine applications. So I'm going to go ahead and apply just to, because I'm going to prime this pad here. So we'll go ahead and put, 4 drops in here, 4 pea-sized drops. And hopefully you guys can actually see this. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I'll do this lower piece here. And normally what you want to do is work from the center out here. So I'm actually going to work a small section. Okay, so I spread my product at that point, and then I'm going to turn this up to about 4.5. Okay, at that point, I don't know how I forgot. I lost how many section passes it was. I think 2 or 3. At that point, I've actually got to the point where it's dry here, and I'm going to show you how it is to wipe off. Again, I'm going to grab the towel I have some panel prep in here, and I'm going to redo this. I'm going to show you how it is. I'm going to go ahead and just spray some more, and just to dampen this, I'm just using the panel prep to panel wipe this. Again, Meguiar's M122 is really all you need. And then I'm going to come in and just wipe off any excess. And you can see that flat spot. I think you can see it on camera. That's what we're after here. We're trying to just remove an old coating, and you can literally see the panel wipe just sitting flat on the surface. Right there, you can see that nice box here. I think you guys can actually see this if I kind of pan down. You can see that spot right here. Versus up here, when I'm getting it wet, you can actually see it being repelled. But that's what you want with this type of polish here. I'm just going to go around the entire glass and do the same thing. And I'll tell you this, it was a much more enjoyable process with a foam cutting pad than with a microfiber applicator. So one thing I do want to mention here is to tape off the trim. So I actually taped off this lower trim piece here because I don't want to get any polish residue in there, because this stuff is going to stain trim. So kind of keep that in mind as you want to prep this. I put some tape up here as well because I didn't want to get polish residue in that rubber trim there, because again, and then it's painful to get this off and it can stain trim. So I just want to give you guys a quick little show of this. Again, I had a much better user experience with a foam cutting pad which is this foam cutting pad here. It's not completely centered, which is why it was bouncing all over the place. But I had a much better user experience with a foam cutting pad versus a microfiber cutting pad. So I do want to mention that if you're going to be using this, stick with a, I'm going to move this over here because it's blinding me. Stick with a foam cutting pad, not so much a foam or a microfiber cutting pad. It's just a much user-friendly experience here. And hopefully that kind of helps understand here. I hope I didn't blind you guys because I had the camera right here. I'll have to watch the video, but hopefully it's not too much glare. But that's what we're trying to achieve here. Just remove that coating here. You saw the flat spot here. And that's primarily it. So I think that's all I have to say about GofX. You know, is it the product you really need? It's completely up to you. I mean, like I said, you can get by with just using a compound and either a foam cutting pad or a microfiber cutting pad to prep your glass as well. And then you can follow up with the coating of your choice. But again, just use what you have on hand. And then later on, if you think you need a dedicated glass polish, you have this as an option from CarPro. You know, I think it's so far its initial use. Again, I was kind of torn. It's like, man, I'm using this. I really don't like it. But then I was like, okay, let me try the foam applicator like they stated and see if it's a much better user experience. And sure enough, it just worked out a lot better with foam than with microfiber. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any comments or questions with this, go ahead and post your comments down below. And again, I appreciate you guys watching. And oh, the other thing is, before I forget, something we're going to ask is, do I need this and Ceriglass? If you're trying to remove wiper scratches, get Ceriglass. If you're not, this is going to be good enough. Or again, just use the compound that you have. Now, is this going to take me away from my go-to? My go-to is Dr. Beasley's NSP GL. The answer is no. And here's the reason why. I don't need a panel prep after using this. With GofX, I need to use the panel prep. But I just want to give it a shot and see how this works. So I'm just going to go ahead and just proceed with finishing the rest of the glass with this. And I think that's primarily it, guys. I think that's all I have for GofX. If you guys have any comments or questions, go ahead and post your comments down below. And again, I appreciate you guys for watching. And catch you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving if this video is not out by then.